a good opportunity for me to be a part of this panel and share my thoughts on the subject. So we started Scoreme back in 2017, and with a vision of helping banks and NBFCs to reach towards a stage of paperless credit delivery. And I think as a part of this activity, what we've been doing so far is that we have taken different financial documents and tried to analyze and build algorithms which can support all these NBFCs and banks on analyzing the borrowers in a better shape, and also through a digitized way of lending in that way. Now, these documents basically includes bank statements, GST returns, income tax documents, financial statements, KYC documents. So basically anything which can be used to evaluate a borrower today, be it a small, I would say a micro MSME, or even a medium enterprise. So it depends on the type of the portfolio which is getting evaluated, what documents the borrower might provide the bank towards it. So when we started up, so digitization was into two parts. So one was what has been digitized for the borrower, and one was what has been digitized for the lender. Now, when I talk about what has been digitized for the borrower, it was that today, if I go 5 years back, I had an option to apply for a loan online and submit my documents. So for me, the process was digital, that I do not have to go to a bank, and my process is done. But what was there at the back end of the bank or the NBFC was the process was manual, which actually elongated the process of, I would say, evaluation of an MSME borrower, where he has to then do several follow-ups with all of them. So that's where we try to fill in this gap with the inclusion of services which we provide, so that today the credit cycle, the evaluation cycle, which is internally, can be automated, and we can empower the actual credit officers in different banks and NBFCs to do an automated analysis of, and first trying to integrate all these services which their backend systems internally which they have. So for example, if the bank is evaluating an existing customer, there's no need to take document from that customer. We can directly integrate the services with the CVS of the bank, and based on the simple input of a customer ID, we can fetch the transactional data for last 1 year or 2 years, depending on what is the rule engine supporting. So our entire focus as a company has been towards automating the back end of the banks and NBFCs, so that the borrowers ultimately can achieve a stage of digital, or I would say an automated lending. Now, a second part of this started, I would say, a couple of years back, when the focus shifted entirely towards creating platform-driven approaches. So from a integrated evaluator of loan on a digital basis, the focus was now shifting on to building platforms to evaluate different borrowers in the country. So that's where you had this all the marketplace automation of the complete loan, and where the customer onboarding has to happen. Then there's a middleware application involved which analyzes the data of the customer, and then the backend of the customer is involved, where the rule engines are implied. Now, a crucial part of the rule engine is now getting digitized in the form that the first part is the financial analysis, which I believe that companies like Scoreme and other players in this industry has been able to do so far. The second part is the historical data analysis of the customer, which comes from the bureau data. And the third part is the qualitative parameters, which varies from different banks and NBFCs as per the type of lending which they are doing. So when you, I would say, holistically look at this from a combined solution set, that is the stage when we reach out to and we say that yes, the lending has been digitized now, not just the evaluation of the borrower, or the, I would say, reaching out to the lender has been digitized. So I think that this really has to. So we currently are working with more than 15 players, from the BFSI segment on the digital lending platform side, and on the backend integration where the automation is happening, we are working with more than 150 clients in that way, which includes banks, NBFCs, rating agencies from various parts of the country. And that's where what we have seen is that there is a huge opportunity which is coming up with, I would say, the next level of the consent-driven architecture, which is now coming up in the country, the account aggregation. That will again add as a huge boom to the industry as a whole, because the entire process of data management and sharing of data between the borrower and the lender will be eased out.